ITC crews have been working on transferring the remaining chemicals out of one of the tanks. A source telling us they have not completed the process, and until that's complete, there's still the possibility of more flare-ups. For anyone who's had to go to a doctor because of all this or lost any wages, ITC is suggesting you submit a claim on its website. But by doing so, are you giving up your rights to sue them later? Jason Puckett is verifying.
So it's a simple website right now. ITC saying they're aware of claims and offering forms for businesses and individuals to submit losses. Now their FAQ says they'll look at paying back property damages, business losses, wage loss, and more. But we've also seen messages that say signing these forms will waive any rights to a lawsuit or future claims, even if a medical condition or damages appear down the line. Is that true? Let's verify.
That is 100% absolutely true.
Houston attorney Ryan Zell looked at the documents for us. He's dealt with plant explosions and fires before, including the Deepwater Horizon spill.
There's no way that a company is going to compensate somebody in the claims process and then allow the possibility of future liability to exist.
Zell pointed towards the ITC docs themselves. On both forms and their question page, lines saying that to get payment on the claim, you have to release all claims against ITC, something Zell advised against doing right now.
We've talked to plenty of clients, but if I were to advise my own children or a family member or friend, I would tell them to talk to a lawyer and evaluate your legal options, and then make the decision best for you and your family.
So yeah, claims that taking money from the current ITC claim process would waive your ability to make future claims or lawsuits, that's verified. It's worth noting these ITC forms aren't due until June 25th. Plenty of time to speak to legal experts or doctors to see what your best options are. I'm Jason Puckett.
All right, thank you, Jason. Now, if you see something you'd like us to check out, send us an email to verify@khou.com. You can also reach us on Facebook and on Twitter.